Hello everyone, happy Wednesday. It's Brianna here, and I just wanted to jump in and talk about something and be real with you and share why I'm so passionate about this Facing Your Finances challenge that Ali Davis and I, business and mindset coach, are doing on next week. So for those who don't know me, I'm a holistic health and life coach, really empowering others to be healthy and thrive in all areas of their life. So very holistic in nature. Yes, I'm very experienced, skilled, and have the knowledge. Cabbage is ready. It'll wait for 1 minute to really support you in the physical health area, because I've journeyed a long while in that. But also, have a background in accounting. I did accounting for 4 years, passed my CPA exams, got my master's in business, got my bachelor's in accounting. But I don't necessarily want to say that it's those things that kind of qualify me. Maybe they do in your mind. But the reason why I'm so passionate about facing your finances, us facing our finances, is because just as emotionally charged as your relationship with food can be, your relationship with money can be way more emotionally charged. There's so many feelings that we feel when it comes to money. Whether we feel like there's enough money always, whether we feel like there's never going to be enough, whether we feel like we don't manage it well, whether we feel like we have it for it to just go away. All of these different feelings is what we have around money. And none of them are necessarily right, none of them are necessarily wrong. What you just have to ask yourself with when it comes to your beliefs about money is this thought serving me and restoring my relationship with money and moving me towards actually why we want money. Because most of us, if we're honest, we don't want the money as much as we want the feeling that the money will give us. And the same thing with, maybe you enjoy healthy eating at this point. I do. But when you start, you want the result that healthy eating will give you. Right? So you buy more healthy foods and all these different things. And so, hi, whoever joined. Feel free to say hello and introduce yourself. So I just wanted to jump in and say that it is a journey, that I have journeyed this last year, and I've been intentional about it. I know that I've had a bad relationship towards money in regards to how I viewed it. Not necessarily how I managed it. I thought I was horrible at managing it, for myself at least. But along this journey, I've had to face the reality of what I truly think about money, what I truly think about my value, and what I truly think about giving and receiving and saving. Because when you go from being an employee to being your own employer, you really got to wrestle with this, because you're then in charge of how much you charge. You're then in charge of how many clients you have. You're then in charge of how many expenses you have, both personally and business-wise. And it's hard. It's just hard. Like, what decisions do you make? There's no one telling you what to do. You are the CEO. You're the CFO. You're the marketing director. You are the coach. You're the actual person that needs to do the actual work with the clients. So there's so many things you are, and it's so easy to, like, whenever you feel this emotionally charged around something, you need to go deeper, and instead of ignoring it, go into it. And I labeled this little video called "There is Grace at the Finance Table." And what I mean by that is I've been doing a lot better of being very intentional about facing my finances and not ignoring it. So my intention for tonight is to just kind of, I've already looked a little bit at how October went, and just to create a quick little budget thing in my little budgeting tool that I'm now using. And I think I was just I want to, but don't want to, because I don't want to feel like there's not enough, or I don't want to feel like even when there is more than enough, I don't know how to handle it. So there's just so many feelings you have. Feelings of fear, feelings of inadequacy, feelings of guilt, feelings of shame that really surround finances. And the reason why I'm focusing on it for November is because, one, the holiday season is coming. And we're just going to be honest, whether it's because of traveling, because of gifts, because of just more events, you might spend more than you normally do. And that is okay. But how are you going to feel about that? And how are you going to feel going into January with that? Right? So I just wanted to share with you that I'm still on this journey. And this is an affirmation that I'm repeating to myself right now. An affirmation is just something where you're affirming a truth to be true. We'll talk a lot about that in the Facing Your Finances challenge I'm doing next week with Allie. But that there's grace. There is grace. There is grace. There is grace at the finance table. There is grace in your relationship with food. I've preached that, but there's also grace in your relationship with finances. There's no right or wrong. There's no right or wrong. And that's hard for perfectionists like myself at times. But it's actually very freeing at the same time, because that's actually what most people who struggle with perfectionism want. They want grace, they want freedom. But it's allowing yourself to receive that. It's allowing yourself to face your finances in the face, and whether or not you did what you wanted to or not with it, whether or not you had certain expectations, to sit there and be like, there is grace for me when I'm looking at this. There is grace, there is grace, there is grace. And I'm about to be emotional and cry. But I just wanted to share that with you. That if you are someone, wherever you're at in your relationship with money, with finances, whether you have loans or debt or not, and you're fine, but you're scared to spend. Like, there's different money types. And we'll actually be going into this 7 Money Types book, biblical basis too, a little bit next week on the challenge. But I just wanted to share with you that you have no reason, now my hair's messed up, you have no reason to feel any guilt, any shame, any fear, because there's grace. There is an overabundance of grace at the table. It's just you giving yourself grace, me giving myself grace, and walking in this journey that we can be financially free, whatever that definition is for you. We can face money and say, I am not scared of you. You are no longer in control. I'm in control. But also, you're beautiful. Like, money is beautiful. What we can do with money in this world is a beautiful thing. But it also can be used for bad, right? So there's both sides, and that's anything. So if you are watching this and you are like, it's time. It is time that I face my finances. And you want to do it in a space that is safe, in a space with 2 coaches who are not going to tell you what to do. Even if you just need a space to share the whole entire 5 days of the challenge, you can do that. We will deliver emails with little trainings and worksheets, and then have a private Facebook group, and we'll go live each day of the challenge. And then as a way to go deeper, for those who are ready to really go deeper, we're going to have a master class the week after. I think it's the 16th. And that'll be a paid master class, but be super affordable, just to give you space for that. So there is grace for you at the finance table. Thank you for whoever joined. If you said hello, I'm sorry. I don't think I saw, because no comments popped up. But if you guys are here and watching the replay, I would love to hear from you. How do you feel towards finances? How you feel towards money? And I'm not going to judge you, and I'm not going to try to just say, oh, that's silly, whatever. No, like, how you feel is how you feel. But it is our decision on whether or not we want to keep feeling that way, because we too often let ourselves feel bad. We too often let ourselves feel struggle, feel pain and guilt, because we feel unworthy of happiness. And that sounds weird, but if you sit and ask yourself, is this true in my life? It might be true to some extent. We all want to feel free. We all want to feel like there's forgiveness and grace. We all want our finances to be in order. We all want to live a happy and joyful and fulfilling life. But it's almost like as we get closer to that, we actually run away from it. There's this book called The Big Leap. I forgot his name, Gary something. And it talks about the upper limit and how, what if we actually felt good all the time? And that sounds weird, but what if we did? It It's like, but usually there comes to this point where we hit an upper limit of our threshold of how good we feel. And we're like, I can't feel any better than this because I'm not used to it, nor am I comfortable with it. So I'm going to go self-sabotage myself and feel bad again. So let's say, for example, I'm going to face my finances very briefly before dinner. Get my cabbage out of the oven. Really great recipe. Just put some onion, some sort of fat, cabbage, and you can put bacon too if you had it. I didn't have any. Great, baked with a little water. Always remember the water, because I've forgotten the water sometimes. And you know, I'm about to approach this and be like, okay, what's my budget for November? And rather than feeling like that's constricting, feeling like that's actually freeing, and feeling like, you know what, this is going to help me just make better decisions. You know, like, oh, got nothing else in the eating out category, so not going to eat out. Or I'm going to see, hey, I haven't cooked anything, and maybe I'm going to use as much in gas, so maybe I can use there. Or hey, how much do I actually want to save? How do I want to pay myself first? Put away some in profit, you know, right away from the beginning. What do I want to do? And so that is just a way for me to approach this, is to affirm to myself before doing this, something that is very emotionally charging for me, and say, there is grace at the finance table. Okay? Just as we say grace before we eat at our food table, let's say grace before we partake in our finances. All right? Happy Wednesday. Happy November 1st. Hope you all are well. Hey, Bethany. Oh, it's you. Great to have you. And so if you haven't yet, I'll post the link to Face Your Finances. Just join us. Check your email once you join, because then it's going to give you the link to the Facebook group. And then introduce yourself and say where you're at. And then we start next week, Monday. All right? Grateful for you guys. Have an awesome evening and talk soon. Bye.